The nature and definition of terrorism varies globally and has changed over time. Money launderers and terrorist financiers have been long able to exploit loopholes to orchestrate terror strikes throughout the world. Preventing terrorists from accessing financial resources is crucial to successfully the threat of global terrorism. India, a victim of many terror attacks, has been at the forefront of the fight against terror. Recently, New Delhi called for penalizing the countries supporting terrorism as part of their foreign policy.
The threat of terrorism has grown over the past few decades. India, unfortunately, has been a victim to many attacks and has experienced a serious loss of life and property in senseless violent explosions. New Delhi, alongside like-minded partners, remains committed to highlighting the threats that terrorism poses to global security. India recently hosted the No Money for Terror conference in New Delhi. The conference was attended by delegates from 72 countries around the world. Pakistan was not invited, and her all-weather friend, China, skipped the event. At the conference, Prime Minister Narendra Modi called for penalizing those countries who support terrorism as part of their foreign policy. This was seen by many as an indirect reference to Pakistan.
It is well known that terrorist organizations get money through several sources. One source is state support. Certain countries support terrorism as part of their foreign policy. They offer political, ideological, and financial support to them.
Extremist groups continue to exploit violence-prone areas for safe havens. Recent attacks and disruptions in South Asia have highlighted the dynamic nature of the challenge of combating terrorism. Pakistan has often been accused of sponsoring and supporting terrorism, from financing to allowing some of the world's most wanted terrorists to hide within their territory. Pakistan's Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, has also acknowledged that terrorism remains one of the foremost problems faced by his country. However, Shehbaz Sharif failed to admit that combating terrorism will require his government to impose stricter legislation against money laundering and terror financing. Moreover, this doublespeak by Shehbaz Sharif is ironic, when his country still shields some of the most wanted terrorists in the world, Dawood Ibrahim and Hafiz Saeed being a few examples. Terrorism is sustained by finances generated from money laundering, drug trafficking, and donations from extremist religious groups. India has urged the international community to take action against terror financing.
India, along with like-minded partners, will remain committed and energetic to highlight the existential threats that terrorism poses to global security and stability. India reaffirms its commitment to strengthen international efforts to combat terrorism and terror financing.
4 years after Pakistan was initially placed on the grey list by the Financial Action Task Force, it was recently removed from the list of countries under increased monitoring. Despite this removal, many experts believe that Pakistan simply was able to check the correct bureaucratic boxes, and that there is ample evidence that Islamabad has only made limited progress on curtailing terror financing. Accordingly, the FATF's decision to remove Pakistan from the grey list has sparked concern and worry from many countries, fearing that without additional international pressure, Pakistan will continue to remain a hotbed for terror financing.
For sure it will not help. it will create more difficulties. And I know how India is impacted by terrorism, what kind of challenges it creates, and which kind of security environment India lives.
India, however, remains as committed as ever to combating terror and terrorism financing in Pakistan and throughout the world. India has reiterated that it is a collective responsibility to ensure that terror financing is being adequately curbed. India has been and will continue to lead the charge.